Hello everyone, my name is Monique Apodaca, and this is my Module 11 case study for AEP 858, Data Analysis and Assessment. And throughout this case study, we are going to be looking at Golden Oak High School and about how every day counts. So to begin by summarizing the case, what has happened? Absentee rates are increasing at Golden Oak High School. Throughout the past year or so, absentee rates are increasing. Teachers are excusing absences that are not district policy. So they are not excusing absences for correct reasons. And we're going to learn more about that as we get into our case study. Parents are also being unsupportive of these district and state attendance policy. We hear throughout this case that when this is happening is the end of the first semester. This is when the principal realizes that absentee rates are increasing at Golden Oak High School because he is told by the superintendent. And again, where we're at is Golden Oak High School. This is a 9th through 12th grade building, and it is located in a suburban community that is near a metropolitan area, which is where a lot of the parents work of the students. So looking at who is involved, we have many people involved in this case. Most important, we have Mr. Rhodes, which is the principal of Golden Oak High School, which would be myself. We also have Karen, who is an 11th grade student who recently was married in August. She wasn't consulted by a counselor before making that decision, but her parents asked that she be. She never was. Currently, she is missing random Mondays and Fridays. We also have Tyrone, which is a 10th grade student, and his parents are excusing him for educational trips out of the state. So far, he has missed 14 days of school this semester for those educational trips. We also have Christina, who is a 9th grade student, and she has been on unaccounted for church meetings, which have been excused, but there are no certain dates for these church meetings, nor any sign-offs from church leaders. And she has missed 4 days of school throughout 3 different weeks. So right now, we're at a count about 12 days missed. Carl is a 10th grade student. He has unsupported parents. They don't tell him he needs to go to school. He is attending vocational practices offered by the school, and his parents just do not support the need to be at school. So he was referred to a truancy officer because he has missed so much school thus far. And finally, we have John, who is an 11th grade student. He is the school's quarterback, and he has had excused absences for physical therapy, as well as on Fridays so he can rest for practice for the game. Now, all of these student absences were brought to light by Dr. Newman, which is the superintendent of this district. He recognized attendance records and brought it to Mr. Rhodes, myself's attention. So let's discuss legal versus ethical issues. Some legal issues that we've seen here are the parens patriae, which is a common law that gives the state, whatever state you're in, the prerogative to secure the welfare of individuals. So if the welfare of an individual is not being met, the state has higher say than the parent or the guardian. From there, we move into 1944, Prince versus Massachusetts. State's prerogative is superior to parents when parents fail to provide for the welfare of their children, and this includes education. Education is mandated for students, so if parents are failing to provide that for their student or their child, the state mandates that, and the state has higher say than the parents. Finally, we see here district attendancy policies align with state policies, which means that students are excused if they have an illness, if they have an immediate death in their family, if there is inclement weather and they are not able to be transported to school, or for any any other reason approved by the principal, which in this case, these are not being approved by the principal. Then we look at ethical issues. Our first ethical issue is by the athletic director. He is showing favoritism towards his athletes, and in this case, it is specifically his quarterback. He is excusing him to go home early on Fridays and to miss school to receive physical therapy in order to play. In his case, this might be a possible breach of the athletic director's contract. Teachers are also being inconsistent with upholding district and state attendance policies, which could also be a breach of their contract if it's ruled out in their employee handbook. Some stakeholders also, in this case, do not value the importance of education. They don't think their student needs to attend school in order to achieve academically. Has anyone been harmed by the action or decisions of another? Student education and achievement may have been affected by the amount of absences. Students aren't in school, it's harder for them to learn the information being provided by the staff. So let's synthesize this. Rising absenteeism rates at Golden Oak High School can be attributed to individuals not following state district absence policies, as well as a rise in stakeholders' lack of recognition for the importance of education. So breaking down the facts again, the people we are looking at are the principal, which is myself, Mr. Rhodes, Dr. Newman, which is the superintendent, and our chronic absentee students, Tyrone, Karen, Christina, Carl, and John. The place in which this is happening is Golden Oak High School, which is located in a suburban community, again near a metropolitan area. This area is also middle class, but some students are lower income and others are higher income. And in the case of this place, we are not aware of what city or state we are in. For programs, we have social services that could be involved or are getting involved because of truancy. The Juvenile Truancy Court, where students go when they are chronically truant with school. The Golden Oak Athletic Department. The National Honor Society, which many students are a part of or have been a part of that are now chronically absent. And then the vocational program that Carl was in, that his parents are not pushing that importance of going to school. Reviewing and prioritizing. Damage to stakeholders or community. Student academic achievement is directly correlated with absenteeism. Students that attend classes are more likely to achieve academically and be prepared for post-secondary courses and the workforce. What individuals and groups have an important stake in the outcome? Well, obviously students, parents, staff, administration, and community when students aren't being raised to be great community members because they are not at school. They are chronically absent. Have stakeholders been consulted? Well, only the superintendent has contacted the principal, so they are the only two that have spoken. The principal has pulled files, but he has not spoken to those chronically absent students, staff that are violating absence policies, or parents that have allowed these absences to happen. Again, still with reviewing and prioritizing, can I learn more? I could use more details about the current attendance policy before making a decision. Are there sports exceptions when students play out of town? This might play a big role in our quarterback. Are doctor's notes required for illnesses to be excused? How many absences are required to send out a truancy notice? Is the attendance policy written clearly in both the student and employee handbook? And are policies and consequences clear to both staff and students? So do I know enough to make a decision? Although there's quite a bit more information I would like to learn from this case study to make a better informed decision, I do believe that I do know enough information to create a solution. So let's go ahead and take a look at the options that I've listed here for myself, the principal, to take regarding absenteeism? So the three options that I've come up with are, first, to take no action at all, which means attendance policies and procedures would stay the same, and that probably means attendance would continue to decline. As for disciplinary action, that's my second option. This would mean that students with chronic absenteeism and teachers that don't follow current attendance policies would be reprimanded. Attendance might increase, but that means rapport may also be in jeopardy between myself and teachers, myself and students, or students and teachers. The third option that I have listed here is adjusting action. I would make sure that the attendance policy is clear in both student and employee handbooks. I would train teachers and staff on the expectations of those attendance policies, and support staff and students whenever needed. So let's take a closer look at option number 1, no action. The pros of this is that there are no changes that need to be made, which means no one is upset and rapport is not lost between anybody. So teachers, students, staff, parents, administration, rapport is not lost. The cons of this, however, are that attendance might continue to decrease, which, correlating here, means student achievement might also continue to decrease. So, ruling out option number 1, probably not the best. As for option number 2, disciplinary action. Some pros, our attendance might begin increasing, and student achievement might also increase because that is correlated with attendance. As for the cons, rapport will be lost with both students and staff members because they will have been disciplined. Also, students might choose to drop out because they are not able to attend for a variety of reasons. And teachers might get mad, which means we might have a higher teacher turnover rate. So, for this case, I'm going to rule out option number 2 as well, leaving option number 3 as our best option. There's a list of pros here. Attendance might begin increasing, which means student achievement might also increase. Rapport might also increase between staff and students because students will be present at school more often. Staff will feel supported and at ease, and families might also feel more supported by the school by making these adjustments. So let's take a closer look at that. First step, I would need to make sure the current policy is clearly written in both student and employee handbooks. This means I would communicate this to families that they need to communicate with us if they have questions or concerns regarding absenteeism. The school is also here to help families if they need assistance with transportation or other issues. I would also need to discuss expectations with teachers at the beginning of each school year. This will be done at the beginning of the second semester in this case, which is January. Teachers should know what excused and unexcused absences and tardies are. Teachers would only learn what these expectations are through a meeting done at the beginning of each school year, and in this case, done at the beginning of the second semester. So obviously, this is the path I would choose as a school leader, and those would be my steps. Clarifying the attendance policy in both handbooks, scheduling that staff meeting at the beginning of each year, or in this case at the beginning of the second semester, and communicating those policies to families and supporting them where they need to, or where they might need. What might happen? Well, teachers could still breach attendance policies and still offer favoritism towards students. Families could still not follow the attendance policy by sending their students to school, and attendance and student achievement may not increase, at least not a lot. So moving on here, it looks like I'm running out of time, but this will discuss who needs to know when implementing the decision: students, staff, and admin, parents, and families. Can I deal with this on my own? And what if it doesn't work?